Alright, hi everyone, welcome back. So in this video we're going to work on our menu manager. So in the last video we did a bit of a factoring, okay, for our render form method. Okay, so we placed our associative array for configuration with a class, okay, to ensure better type safety and also to better organize the validation logic. Okay, all right, so in this episode we're going to be working on a menu manager. It's not going to be much, but basically just having something to help us navigate between the various menus in our application. It's actually not much. Okay, right, so let's do that. So first we'll do a bit of cleanup. So I'm going to be removing all this here. I'm going to be removing this as well. Right, no, so this and here I'm going to be removing this for now. Yes. Okay, so we have our form field configuration class. We have a CLI upper class. Okay, we have a database upper class. We have our entities. Okay, ideally this would be maybe their own files. Okay, maybe we might organize that at the end of the video, but or at the end of the playlist. For now, let's just have everything in one file, right? Okay, so we're going to create a menu manager class to help us with our navigation. Right, so let's do that. So I'll add it here. Okay, let's do it here. Yeah, so say class menu manager, and we're going to have some public methods. Going to make them static. So function, let's call this start. So this would initialize application. So this will be the only function would expose in this menu manager. Okay, the rest are going to be private functions. Let's do private static. Okay, so looking at our feature list here, we'll have a start screen where the user can choose whether they want to log in or sign up. Okay, so that will be our start screen. Okay, we're going to have our account creation screen. We're going to have our login screen. Going to have our manage transaction pin screen where we can either set up a new pin or change our existing pin. Okay, we're also going to have a view for changing password. Going to have a screen for fund transfer. We're going to have account lookup, and we're also going to have transaction history. Okay, so let's do that. So we'll start with sign up. So let's do function. So what do we call this? We could do I like to call it render or view. Okay, let's go with the convention render. So say render login form. Okay, we're going to have private static function render sign up form. I could call it registration form. Then we can have private static function. Let's do okay, for transaction pin, we want setup pin to pop up whenever you've you've logged in, but you haven't set up your pin. So we will really need a view to hold these two, or to navigate between these menus. So we're just going to create them as separate menus. So say render new, let's see, new transaction pin setup. I'm also going to have one for render change transaction pins. Yeah, change transaction pin, that's fine. Then we'll say static function render, let's see. Sorry, I have a cold. So fund transfer. So do fund transfer. Alright, so private static function render, let's see, what do we have here? So we have account lookup, so say account lookup, then let's say private static function render transaction history. Right, so this are going to be our menus. So let's see. So for start, we're going to let's see, we'll do something like okay, so let's do CLI. Right, CLI helper, right line, and then we'll do welcome to the banking CLI app. And maybe we could do some new lines. Okay, so we could let's see, I don't need a function for that, so let's do helper right line. We're going to print a new line twice, and then we're going to do helper right line. You can see select an option, and then we print the options. So right line, we could see one login to an existing account, and we can see CLI helper right line to sign up for a new account. Yeah, that. And then we'll provide a way to get that input. Now we want to get this input like on the same line. Want to do something like enter an option, and then want to have a prompt immediately here to get the input. But if we do right line, it just prints it here without any we don't want a new line. Okay, so maybe we could create a write function too. Could say write, yeah, and we won't have any URLs. Right, so let's do write. Okay, and from here we're going to accept option. But then we actually don't need right line. Actually, we just need a read line with a label. Yeah, that makes more sense. So let's use that. Okay, so let's do read line and provide a label, which is this, and this will give us a way to get that input, right? And then we could have a variable called input to hold that, or maybe call it option. Okay, then we do a check. We could say if option is equals to 1. Okay, then we navigate to, so we can say self because we're in the menu manager. We don't need to say menu manager, and this is a static function, so we don't need to, we can do this, or we aren't in an instance method. Okay, so we can do this. Yeah, so we do self followed by render login form. Okay, then else if option is equals to 2, then we render this. That's the sign up form. Okay, else we could just print CLI helper right line invalid option selected, please try again, and then we call this function itself. Yeah, right, so let's test that. So when we run our application, we just call MenuManager start, which should, well, start our application. Okay, I don't know how I deleted that. Let's put that back in. So MenuManager start. Okay, so let's run this. Let's see, where's our CLI? So clear PHP main.php. Let's see, CLI helper online 326. What's wrong here? Okay, yes, sorry, end line here. Right, so I have this. Okay, I think the lines are too much. So since we're already printing a new line after this, right? Or we could even do it here without, yeah, maybe we could do this, and this would serve. Yes, so I think this is what I want, so I'll remove this, and we should have a nice view. Beautiful. Okay, so let's do 1. Currently there's nothing there, so you just exit. Let's do 2. Currently there's nothing there as well, and let's do 3. So it gives us the value option selected. Let's try again, and also we just take you back to do the same thing. Right, okay, so this will be all for this video. So in the next video we'll be working on this is done. We'll be working on our account creation feature. Okay, see you guys in the next one.